Have you ever wondered how plants munch on sunlight? Yes, you heard that right. Plants are like tiny chefs in nature, cooking up their food using sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. Isn't that fascinating? Today, we are going to explore the incredible process of photosynthesis, which helps plants thrive and keeps our planet healthy. What do we know about photosynthesis? Let's kick things off with the essentials. First up, we have chlorophyll, the green pigment that makes leaves look so vibrant. It's like a solar panel for plants. Only the green parts of leaves can photosynthesize. So when you see a bright green tree, you know it's busy making its food. The role of light. Now here comes the superhero of photosynthesis, light. Plants need light energy to transform carbon dioxide, that's the gas we breathe out, and water into glucose, a type of sugar, and oxygen. Think of it as a magical recipe where sunlight is the secret ingredient. Now let's discuss the role of carbon dioxide, which is also important in the process of photosynthesis. When leaves are deprived of CO2, like when using KOH chemical to absorb carbon dioxide, they cannot produce starch, which is a way of plant to store energy. Variegated leaves experiment. Simple experiments like testing variegated leaves, those with both green and white areas, show that only the green parts that receive light can produce starch. Isn't it amazing how plants have their own ways of showing us what they need? Early experiments in photosynthesis. Let's rewind time a bit. Back in 1700s, a scientist named Joseph Priestley discovered that plants can restore air that was polluted by burning candles or breathing animals. He even found that a mint plant and a mouse could live together in a closed jar, as the plant kept the air fresh. Jan Ingenhousz's discoveries. Then Jan Ingenhousz showed us that sunlight is crucial for this air-purifying magic. He noticed that aquatic plants released oxygen only when they were in bright sunlight. These early experiments laid the groundwork for our understanding of photosynthesis and how plants help us breathe. Let's explore some fascinating discoveries that helped us understand photosynthesis better. In 1854, a scientist named Julius von Sachs made a major breakthrough. He showed that plants produce glucose during growth, and this glucose is often stored as starch. He also discovered that chlorophyll, the green pigment responsible for photosynthesis, is located in special structures inside plant cells called chloroplasts. Next, we have T.W. Engelmann, who used a prism to split light into its spectral components and observed that bacteria, used to detect oxygen, accumulated mainly in the blue and red light regions when illuminating algae. Hence, he observed that these are the main areas of photosynthesis. Then came Cornelius Van Niel, who made a crucial observation. He showed that photosynthesis is a light-dependent process, where hydrogen from an oxidizable compound is used to reduce carbon dioxide, forming carbohydrates. Finally, using radioisotopes, scientists discovered something amazing. They proved that the oxygen released during photosynthesis actually comes from water, not carbon dioxide, clearing up a long-standing mystery. These discoveries laid the foundation for how we understand the science of photosynthesis today. Where does photosynthesis take place? Now let's zoom in on where all this action happens. The primary site for photosynthesis is the leaves, specifically in the mesophyll cells, which are packed with chloroplasts. These chloroplasts are like tiny factories that capture light. They're positioned just right to grab every bit of sunlight. Photosynthesis beyond leaves. But guess what? Photosynthesis doesn't only happen in leaves. You can find it in green stems and even unripe fruits. Within chloroplasts, the membranous system consists of grana, stroma lamellae, and matrix stroma, with a clear division of labor between components. The membrane system captures light energy to make ATP and NADPH during the light reactions. In the stroma, enzymes use these molecules to make sugar, which is later stored as starch. Since the first set of reactions needs light, they're called light reactions. The second set doesn't need light directly, but depends on ATP and NADPH, so they're called dark reactions. But this doesn't mean they happen in darkness. They just don't use light directly. Now let's understand various pigments involved in photosynthesis. Chlorophyll A, bright or blue-green pigment that is the chief photosynthetic pigment, absorbing light primarily in blue and red regions of the spectrum. Chlorophyll B, yellow-green accessory pigment that absorbs light at different wavelengths and transfers energy to chlorophyll A. Carotenoids, yellow to yellow-orange accessory pigments that absorb light and transfer energy to chlorophyll, while providing photoprotection. Xanthophylls, yellow accessory pigments that help absorb a wider range of light wavelengths and protect chlorophyll from photooxidation. The various shades of green in plant leaves result from these different pigments. Paper chromatography can separate them, revealing that leaf color comes from a combination of pigments, not just one. Let's quickly understand three important graphs that show how light absorption by plant pigments relates to photosynthesis. Graph A, light absorption by pigments. This graph shows how three pigments absorb light. Chlorophyll A, blue curve, chlorophyll B, green curve, carotenoids, yellow curve. These pigments absorb the most light in the blue, around 450 nanometer, and red, around 660 nanometer regions. Green light is reflected, which is why plants look green. Graph B, rate of photosynthesis. This graph shows how the rate of photosynthesis changes with light wavelength. It is highest in the blue and red regions and lowest in the green. This matches the absorption patterns in Graph A. Graph C, absorption versus action spectrum. This graph compares light absorbed, blue line, and photosynthesis rate, black line. Both peak in the blue and red regions, showing that light absorbed is used for photosynthesis. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for NEET. Thank you.